That's for.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. On behalf of the Calhoun County Chamber of Commerce and Public Affairs Committee, my name is Gerald Hines. I'll be stepping in as moderator for Henry Mullinax. Tonight we have the opportunity to hear from the candidates for Alabama House District 32. Currently that district is held by Representative Barbara Boyd. We would like to thank her for her service and her dedication as representative. I'd like to thank the Calhoun County Chamber of Commerce and the Public Affairs Committee for hosting this forum. And I also thank Ms. Linda Hearn, the Director of the Chamber of Commerce. Tonight, our timekeeper will be Hunter Gentry from the City of Oxford. Each candidate was given a copy of the rules, and seating was determined by lottery just a few minutes ago. I'll introduce each candidate, and each candidate will answer questions from left to right. They'll have 2 minutes and a 30-second warning beforehand. If a candidate is mentioned by name, at my discretion, that candidate will have 1 minute to respond afterwards. The questions were chosen by the Public Affairs Committee and sealed. I will read each question as written one time. The public had an opportunity to submit those questions, and they were reviewed and chosen by the Public Affairs Task Force. And first up will be Ms. Deborah Foster. She's a realtor with ERA King Real Estate and a Democrat. Second, we will have David Reddick. He is a telecommunications field engineer and book author and Democrat. And then we will have Joey Callahan. He is a retired firefighter, a land developer, and Republican. Any other questions? What is your position on casino gambling and lottery in Alabama? What steps would you do to make sure it was controlled? You can sit back and start.
Good evening, everyone. Gambling is one of those issues that's debated quite a bit. Personally, I believe that the people should have a choice. I think that gambling is something that people do based on their desire to do so. And as a representative, I don't think it's my place to decide whether or not people should gamble. So my position is put it on the table and allow the residents to vote whether or not they want lottery.
Thank you. Ms. Red.
My position on casino gambling, it needs to come up for a vote. Put it up, let the people of Alabama decide whether or not we have it. I think the biggest challenge now is a lot of people don't like the fact that 20 to 30% of that tax goes to public education. I'm all for, if it passes, I'm all for the maximum amount to go to education, because imagine what our schools could look like if they had the funding necessary so that our kids could have that opportunity to be on a level playing field with the private schools. And that's what that money would do for us in the state of Alabama, to give our kids more opportunities, to have more training, to have better lives. Thank you.
Mr. Callahan.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the Chamber for having this tonight. And certainly, we've had some small talk and enjoyed talking to each of you. And I appreciate, thank you for my wife being here to support me. So anyway, I've said that I am not much of a public speaker. I'm more of a talker. So but anyway, let's talk about gambling. And I've been asked about this on several different occasions. Initially, I don't necessarily agree with the gambling bills that have been presented, okay? That don't mean I will never support a gambling bill. The devil is in the details when it comes to gambling. So I cannot say, if elected, that I would vote for or against a gambling bill. I would ask to be able to see it because I think there is some good in it. Depends on if it is going for the right reasons. But there's so many public interests that we have to watch out for, and you have to find the right legislation in order to be able to support it. So I'm open-minded about it. Just initially, you throw it in front of me, I wouldn't support it, but I can't say that I never would because I don't know what a bill looks like.
Second question. What is your plan for the state to address mental health and addiction treatment needs? It is a very large problem. Where should the funding come from? Mr. Reddick.
So the question was state mental health, the needs, and where the funding comes from. When I was on the city council, I was working on a program where, because most of our police officers know who have mental health issues, so I was working on a program where I would actually have counselors go out, and when these people are called, have counselors on call to go out and meet with these people. So mental health is a big, strong issue. I was endorsed by VoteVex because of my view on that. Health of our veterans, health of our people, and health of our citizens. Alabama has the highest veteran suicide in the country, and we need to do something about that. All those come down to mental health issues, and I believe the funding will show up because the Bible says where a man's heart is, there's his treasure also. So I believe that if we took a true stance on mental health to make sure that we care about every citizen, every individual, I don't think it'll be a hard choice to find the money we need to do it, because we can do it for minimal if we reach out to the people that care enough to not charge you an arm and a leg to do it. Like I said, I know several mental health professionals that would love to get out there and do it for free if they can. Thank you.
Mr. Callahan.
Well, I tell you, I spent 25 years in the fire service, and out of Lincoln Fire Service, we run an ambulance. I worked on a private ambulance, so I've seen firsthand the effects from mental health. You know, we always concentrate, and rightfully so, on our veterans with PTSD and traumatic brain injury. I've been a part of and been in a group, Dovetail Landing, to help support our veterans and provide a program where it was like a reverse boot camp, that you bring our veterans back in and you reintroduce them into society. I support the veterans and the mental health, but that's not the only issues with mental health. We, as a country, you know, as a country, don't address mental health the way we should. When we talk about funding, I don't know, you know, because I hadn't been down there, so I don't know where the funding would come from. I do know that I would support anything that would help us provide mental health for people who need it, and it's drastically needed, not only in our state, but in our country.
Ms. Foster.
Mental health is certainly an issue in our community, and I can speak for Emerson in particular. And we have a lot of homelessness in our community as well, and a lot of that is tied to mental health. So I do believe that we need to find funds that we can support those persons that need that help. I think we need to expand Medicaid, because Medicaid will give funds to help with mental health, with drug abuse. We need to increase facilities for them. I can't tell you where the funds will come from. I think that before I can give you a direct answer, We need to get in the seat, look at the complete budget, and find the best source of pulling funds out for that. But mental health is certainly an issue that we need to address, and it needs to be done.
What role should the state play in supporting veteran services and resources? Mr. Callahan?
Well, I was a part of a group, Dovetail Landing. There's some things that happened with it, but we had Governor Ivey commit $3 million to the program. There's some things that went wrong with it, and the program was not successful. I was not a part of anything but the advisory committee. But we have to put together first of all, the government is not taking care of it. The government is not taking care of our veterans. And we have to have private groups, non-profits that come in here and they put together programs, and private funding is where it comes from. Private funding to fund our veterans. We need to be taking care of our veterans. And I don't see that the government and the role that they've played in it has been sufficient to do the things that they need to do. So I will be an advocate to work with any private groups, not along if they state funding out there, anything that we can do. We certainly supported Governor Ivey's position on putting a line item budget in to help Dovetail Landing. But at the same time, we need to encourage nonprofits and encourage our community to take care of our own people.
Ms. Foster?
When it comes to the veterans, I think we certainly need to support our veterans. I believe all politics are local. And what we need to do is look at having an organization locally. We need to have a grassroots organization that will support the veterans, that can get people in the community a part of it. And yes, the government has a part. The government always have a part because the government controls most of our lives, everything that goes on in our lives. But yes, the government has their part to play, but we as citizens have to stand up and speak out for those areas of concern in our communities. Veterans, we owe them our lives, we owe them our freedom. And so we need to do what we can to support our veterans in any way that we can.
Ms. Reddick?
So I am a U.S. Navy veteran. It's good to see you, Reverend Dr. Ramsey. How you doing today? Civil rights icon in the city of Anniston. Good to see you. Okay, I am a U.S. Navy veteran. I served my country with honor, courage, and commitment. And when I came home, you hear these stories, these horror stories that happen to veterans when they go for veteran care. I got to experience that. So it's very important. But a lot of what we can do is this. I plan on getting on the Veteran Affairs Committee, and I want to make sure that our veteran professionals have the proper training to be able to treat everybody with the fairness and dignity that they deserve. Because when a person has put their life on the line to make sure that you have the freedoms that you currently have, we can say whatever we want about our president and not get put in jail. You know, we have that freedom in this country, and most countries don't have that kind of freedom. So I want to make sure that, one, we have the funding, but that's not the big problem. The big problem is the training. We have to make sure that our professionals have the necessary training and tools equipped to help our veterans achieve and thrive. Because one thing you need to know about a veteran, nobody's going to work harder or be more loyal. And if we can take care of our veterans, they will take care of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you support or not support the expansion of Medicare in Alabama? If you support the expansion, how do you ensure long-range funding for the system? If you don't support the expansion, why? Ms. Foster.
I'm certainly an advocate of expanding Medicaid. Medicaid will not only give health care to people who are without health care. It's gonna also stimulate our economy. It's gonna bring jobs to the community. Health care should be held by everybody. It's not a privilege, it should be a right for everyone. Expanding Medicaid will open up doors that will generate the economy that we need to bring in. I think it will also help us to recruit physicians. It will also help us to maintain our hospitals. We're having a lot of hospitals that are closing in the rural areas constantly. And we need to make sure that Medicaid is expanded so that we can have the right to health care. It also affects our quality of life. If you're not healthy, you can't go to work. It's all tied in together, but Medicaid, I believe, should be expanded, should have been expanded, and I think with that being done, there are a lot of issues that we'll be able to cover once those funds are available.
Mr. Ray?
So I was in the CVS pharmacy not too long ago, and the man in front of me went up to get his medication, and it was like, you know, it's important medication, but his rate had gone up, so he didn't have the money to pay for his medicine. And I paid for his medicine for him, but I can't do it for everybody because I don't know who all needs their medicine paid for. But I was blessed enough to be able to, here's the money you need to pay for your medication. He went back and got his medication. But so many veterans, this is the decision he had to make though. He had to make a decision, do I pay for my medication or do I go get some food so I can eat tonight? And people shouldn't have to make that decision, especially if you worked your whole life and never stuck your hand out and begged for anything. But you worked, you developed yourself, you raised your kids, you're taking care of your grandkids, and now you have to make a decision, do I eat or do I live? It should never be there. So absolutely. Do I support Medicaid, Medicare expansion? All day, every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Callahan?
I'll be the only one up here that says I don't necessarily support Medicaid expansion. I would support a reform. There's so much abuse that is taken away from the people who really need it. I don't say that we don't need Medicaid, don't need Medicare, don't need these programs, but I'm tired of seeing the abuse, and that hurts the people who really need it, and that's who I'm for. I'm for the people who really need these programs. I'm not for expanding and growing our government. All that does, you grow the programs, you put more money into it, and it grows our government. And every time that we put the government's hand in something, then they get the control of it. And I don't believe that the government should control our health, our food, our housing, our bank account, or anything else. I believe that we need to have responsible programs that do the right thing for the people who truly need it.
Thank you. What role should the state play in workforce training and career technical education, and how important to workforce development is skills training? Mr. Ray?
I started losing track. I was going to get up and then I said, ooh, it's my turn. Workforce development in Alabama, absolutely. I'm watching Huntsville. Part of my job is traveling across the state of Alabama, building these telecommunication networks that gives us the ability to do Facebook Live and everything else. So I'm watching Huntsville grow, and they're building all these houses because they got to bring people in to do these jobs because the people that live in the city didn't get the training necessary to hold the jobs that they're bringing to the city. So that's one thing I would absolutely focus on, workforce development, because here's the other road. AI is coming. AI is coming fast. And when it gets here, the people that are going to have jobs, safe jobs that pay very well, are the people who have the training and took the courses and classes that allows them to do coding, that allows them to do fiber optic installation, the people that know how to run fibers, the people that know how systems work. So we need to develop the kind of world and the kind of students in the state of Alabama that knows how to, basically, we need them developed for the jobs of the future. It won't cost us anything more than we're doing now because we're already training them to do something. Let's train them to do something great.
Thank you. Mr. Callahan?
Hopefully this is where I can shine with this. I'm in the land development business, which provides home lots for people to come in and build houses for the everyday middle class person. And I see it every day that we don't have a skilled workforce to come out and perform the task that we need them to do. So I was on the committee at Lincoln High School with the career tech program and on that advisory committee, and was there when they started building and teaching a trade of building tiny homes where you brought kids in and you taught them electrical, you taught them plumbing. They could build a house in a shop, and I bought the first one. That's how much I believe in supporting our children and workforce development. But not all kids and not all of the schools here that's in this district have those programs. I think all of them need to have them. We've been taught as a society, and I don't know how many of you out there have grew up in this country and thought that if you didn't go to college, you couldn't be nothing. You could never be nothing if you didn't go to college. That's so untrue. You can go out and you can learn a trade. You can learn a trade and you can learn the task and go out here as a plumber and electrician and make a doctor's pay. And I support workforce development in our schools.
Ms. Foster?
I certainly support the workforce. We do have to understand that every child will not go to college, but we still need plumbers, electricians. We need all of those trades, and I'm so proud to create that Ms. Maury is the director of the Calhoun County Economic Development Board, supported that endeavor, and it's an awesome place, and everyone should visit it. But we have to understand that education is for every kid, but they're going to choose different paths in life. Some will want to go to college, some will want to do a trade, some will want to start a business. But we need to create an environment for young people to choose outside of just college, to prepare themselves for whatever career that they want to go in. So yes, I truly support the workforce, bearing in mind that all children are not the same. They have different career goals, and we should be able to foster whatever career they want to pursue in life.
What is your position on school choice, charter schools, and education savings accounts? And how do you feel it would help or harm education in Alabama? Mr. Callahan?
I think some of these questions, like this one, there's so many different ways to frame it or to look at it. And in general, I believe in school choice. I believe that parents should be able to have an opportunity to send their children to whatever school they want to send them to. If you want to send them to Lincoln High School, you can send them to Lincoln High School. If you want to send them to Anniston High School, you can send them to Anniston High School. If you want to send if they're not doing well there, and you think they would have a better opportunity, then, I just believe that they should have that opportunity. And then I got stuck on that, and now I have misremembered exactly what the rest of the question was. So since I can't, the charter schools, I don't know that much about charter schools. I think that I can't say much about that. I would like to go back to one thing, though, that I didn't get to say, and it's so vital. And we talk about our schools, we talk about school choice, why not be able to take a child and let them go to, if you want their child to go to a different school that has a tech program that they want their child in, why would you try to limit that child from having an opportunity to go to that school? I believe in that. That comes back to our workforce development and programs that allow children in different schools the opportunity to escape those schools and go to a better place that their child could be a better educator.
Thank you. Ms. Foster?
So we're debating your question, hopefully I will answer it. I do believe in a choice. Parents should have a right to send their kids to whatever school they want to. The problem is all parents are not economically sound enough to send their kids to private schools. So it's important that we continue to support public schools. I think parents should have the choice. The difference is sometimes magnet schools or private schools are innovative. Sometimes they start new programs that will kind of encourage or help the public schools to maybe adopt. I think we need to make sure that that kids have equal access to education. If funding is taken away from, if the fund follows the child and the child is not able to go to a private school, then you have an issue. Education is not equal. So we need to make sure that funding is fair. We need to make sure that parents have a choice in where they want to send their kids. I think every parent should have that choice. And so if you're in a school system where it's failing, parents want their kids to go to the best school. But the choice program needs to make sure that every kid have access to education.
Thank you. Ms. Ray?
So charter schools have been approved there. I wasn't a particular fan of them because of the ability to mismanage funds legally, in my opinion. But they're here. So I'm for responsible education. Everybody needs to be held accountable. Charter schools, public schools, private schools, because 20% of charter schools outperform the rest of the schools in the area. 20% of charter schools underperform schools, and the other 60 are in the same area. But 20% of public schools outperform all the other schools in the area, and 20% of public schools underperform, and the other 60 are performing. So what needs to happen is a responsible accountability, because at the end of the day, when a kid first shows up at your school's doorstep, the state of Alabama gives you $7,000. What we can't have happen is one school saying, okay, I'll take all your kids, and then put them out after a month once they get that check, and then send them to another school. Now you got the other school that's struggling because they're not going to reject your child, but this school doesn't have the funding they need. So I'm for responsible and reliable accountability of all schools. Thank you. You thought you was going to be able to lift that up on me.
You got close.
How will you ensure transparency in your own office and legislative work? And Ms. Foster?
Well, I think that as a representative, we have to be transparent. We have to make sure that we are accessible, that our constituents can call us and meet with us. I think it's important for us to have town hall meetings to get a feel from the community of what their needs and wants and desires are. I think we need to be as transparent as we can, and I think that's open communication, listening to the constituents and making sure that their questions are answered, their problems are solved to the best of our ability. But most importantly, I think being available, accessible, and accountable is the best way.
Thank you. Ms. Ray?
Well, My view on transparency is pretty transparent. When I served as a city councilman, I held regular ward meetings, invited everybody to them. I talked about what I accomplished, what I failed at, and what my next plans were. I stayed accountable. I stayed transparent. And when a bill was being read, I took the time during those meetings to explain what this bill meant, what this ordinance was talking about, because I would look out and see if somebody didn't understand what was going on. You can tell by the look at their faces sometimes. So transparency is kind of my bread and butter. Take the time to show the people, because I believe when people believe in what you're saying, when you're open and honest with people, they have the ability to trust you. And when people trust you, they support you. So transparency, my view on transparency, just look at my record. I've always been open and transparent. Ain't that right, Reverend?
Mr. Callahan?
I'll show you tonight how transparent I am. My phone number is 205-369-4497. I publish that throughout my time as a city councilman. I have no problem with anybody calling me at any given time. I try to answer questions as truthfully and honestly as I can. And I'll tell you, as a fireman, used to, when we saw a representative or a senator, whatever, walking through City Hall or walking there, we knew that they were there with some good news, that they were there to tell us how they were going to fund something, whether it be a road project, a new fire truck, or give us some type of assistance in helping our community. So being open, going out, visiting your local communities, the local municipalities, and getting feedback from them, then I believe that's one of the ways that I would, because look, there's so much money that the state has in order to fund infrastructure, to fund emergency services, and to fund roads, that you've got to know what those communities need. You've got to know what water lines, where they need water lines, if it's like a CDBG block grant, community development block grant. You got to know how to get in there and work to get those. So you have to do it by getting out, meeting the communities, and I do believe in transparency, whether it's being in town hall meetings. He gets me every time. Town hall meetings, open conversation, but most importantly, I gave you my phone number.
And this brings us to closing statements. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for their closing statements. And we'll start with you, Mr. Reddick.
I had one prepared, but it was 3 minutes, so I'm gonna take it from the top. My name is David E. Reddick. I'm running for Alabama House District 32. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, a book author, a mentor, and a community advocate. I served as an Anniston City Councilman, in which I was able to get millions of dollars put into our school system. I found the funding to open Kai Pre-K. I bought brand new band uniforms for our Anniston High School Bulldogs. I believe in community, I believe in service, and I believe in being a part of the solution, not the problem. We got too much time with being a politician and not enough time with being part of the public. I believe God holds politicians, school teachers, police officers, and preachers to a higher standard than he holds anyone else. So I understand that there's a cost and a price that you have to pay in order to serve people. And I also understand that it makes you the lowest person out there because you're there to serve everybody. So I'm here to serve you as your House District 32 person, and I'm here to serve you as the person that will make sure that you know what's going on and that you have a voice in the Alabama House District 32. Thank you.
Mr. Callahan.
Again, my name's Joey Callahan. Been married to my lovely wife, Nicole, for 25 going on 26 years. My son is going to Auburn right now, Roll Tide. Anyway, he's in Auburn right now, and I'm thankful that he's there. It's a great campus, and he's doing very well. Look, all I've ever done is work. That's all I've ever known is work. And in my work, all I've ever known to do is try to make things better. I worked for the fire department 25 years and retired, only worked at Lincoln. I retired from there. There I help people. Every economic bracket, every race, every kind of person, and none of them you could ever show any difference in. So I believe that I represent, if I could have the honor of representing House District 32, I would represent the entire district. This is a huge district. It runs from, close to Fort McClellan here, all the way down into the Sylacauga and the Vincent. It's a huge area, and it takes a lot to cover it. But there are so many different economic brackets in that district, and every one of them should be treated equally, fairly, and I want to represent all the people. And I just thank you. I thank y'all for being here. I appreciate everybody, and I look forward to serving the people of House District 32.
Ms. Dawson.
Deborah Foster, running for House District 32. I'm running because I think that Montgomery needs a representative that's going to be steady, strong, accountable, and show up every day. I'm running because I believe that health care should be the right for every individual. I'm running because I think our school systems are important and need to be supported financially. I'm running because I think economic development is very important for our area. I'm running because I think I can make a difference. I have worked in my community all of my life. I think most of you know that I have a servant leadership attitude, and I want to go and represent District 32. If elected, I promise to work hard as you do every day. I promise to show up every day. I promise to be accountable. I promise to be available. And most importantly, I promise to do what I think is best for District 32.
And I'd like to thank all of the candidates for your views tonight. I'd like to thank everybody that's here for your time and attention. On behalf of the Calhoun County Chamber of Commerce, the Public Affairs Committee, we encourage everybody to stay active in your community and get out. And thank you all, and have a great night.
Is this part of our swag better?
5 o'clock at the Jackson Safety Complex.